Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Harvesting Justice podcast. Woo, 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 woo,
Hello,
woo.
how's it going, Melanie?
It's going. It's been a minute. We did not post an episode for the month of January 2026, but I'm just chalking that up to us having a winter break. So, but
Yeah,
we're back.
and of course, I don't think that New Year's Day is the day where many people are firing up their podcast machines.
Okay.
Either they're
Yeah.
recovering from a night of partying or time with family is more important than being deep into your podcast
Yeah, so
shows.
so it's been a minute since we've been on and we got some things we want to talk about, right? There's some things in recent times. One of our pro-life colleagues, Anastasia Rogers, was arrested on the sidewalk a little over a month ago.
Not even doing any sort of civil disobedience or
Yeah,
anything rubbing against the law.
and HHS has been removed of their federal funding for fetal tissue research. That's another big thing that just happened. And the Walk for Life and the National March for Life also just happened. So we need to dive in.
A good recap for all those
Whoa.
things.
Okay, so where should we start, Robert?
First, I wanted to find out more about your experience on the coalition partner platform for the National March for Life, because I did not really get to hear much of anything of your experience
Yeah,
answering the
okay.
call.
And for context, Robert and I are sharing all this to each other for the first time. So we don't even know what the other person's going to say right now. But okay, so the coalition partners. So if you don't already know, Pro Life San Francisco, for the first time in its almost 10 years of existence, got an invitation from the National March for Life to be a coalition partner. So originally, I had no plans to go to DC. I was just gonna go with my family to Texas for a friend's wedding happening Saturday, January 24th, the day of the Walk for Life West Coast.
In San Francisco.
Yes, in San Francisco. So I was not even planning on going to DC. I was just gonna go to Texas, attend my friend's wedding, and enjoy a good time with loved ones back in Texas. But then we a few weeks prior, got an invitation from National March for Life to be a coalition partner, and I thought it was too good of an opportunity to pass up. So that's why I was in DC. So the coalition partners, we had our own like tent VIP almost area. And it was, if you're facing the March for Life stage, it was the left side, it was the right side. We had a tent and we had our own little like VIP walkway. Like we were in front of the stage. Like there was nothing in between us, but just like barricade. There was no crowd. Like it was us, barricade, stage.
Oh, so basically almost like a special kind of,
Like the
unlike,
closest you could be if you were at a concert type
almost like
thing.
an orchestra pit.
Yes. Uh-huh.
The thing I'm
And
most curious about was there a lot of opportunity and time to bump elbows, shoulders? I forget what the saying is with other people to like
yeah,
be able to network and share.
Yeah,
Doing
I saw David B. Wright, who is the founder, leader of the Life Leadership Conference, formerly the leader of 40 Days for Life National. And David B. Wright and I are both from the great state of Texas. Yeehaw. And I met him back when I was still a student leader running my club in college. So it was funny. He and I were both at the coalition partners tent area and we were both like, hey, and
I see
anyways,
you.
yeah, it's
I
just
see
funny because
you.
I've seen him so sporadically throughout the years, but Melanie, like 5, 6 years ago, would have been like, "David B. Wright," like, foaming at the mouth. But it was so anyways, I saw David B. Wright. I saw I over that weekend I got chances to finally like formally introduce myself to Kristen Day, the director of Democrats for Life of America. And Kristen Day actually has an initiative that she would like us, Pro Life San Francisco, to partner on and help with promoting, but she and I have yet to chat about that. But that is something in the works. Kristen Day is one of those characters like I've known of her, I've seen her, but I've never actually like, hi, my name is like,
Right. And
but you
now,
feel like you know someone because you see them all the time and like on
right.
social media. But anyway, so Kristen Day was another person that I finally like formally connected with. What were you about to say?
Yeah, just like this opportunity affords people to get together to actually impact more of the public, the families in need, the babies. These opportunities don't exist without the chance to meet other people like this.
Yeah, and then spending time with people who I would consider friends, like Herb Garrity from Secular Pro Life, Lauren Handy, Caroline Smith from Horror and Hope Coalition. So there was just a lot of opportunities to continue relationships with people I already know, and then getting to finally formally meet other people who I've known of. Maybe they knew of me, but I there was never a formal introduction until I was in DC for the March for Life. So
Right.
the actual tent of the coalition partners, I was picturing this tent was gonna be like couches, widescreen TVs, like hot cocoa.
Air conditioning. I heard you talking about with John Lively, our friend,
Yeah,
one of our board
I mean,
members.
the tent was heated,
Yeah, or at least that.
but it was just like dirt, grass floor, plastic chairs, like, and I spoke to someone in the coalition partners tent, like, I don't know why, like, I really just pictured there would be, like, couches and flat screen TVs and hot cocoa,
But why
and
though?
they were like, "I don't know, I guess I just thought, like, special treatment that we would get a flat screen TV to watch the stage, like, watch, the live stream," but they were like, "Oh, no, girl, that's the VIP tent. You're in the coalition partners." So I'm guessing
Um,
there's a VIP tent,
uh,
I don't know,
that must be where the
high
Congress
yeah,
members were.
yeah, for, like, more, high named people, which wasn't me, but I was just happy to be in the coalition
You
partners
got to be
tent.
elected to office first.
Yeah. So that's how that went.
Yeah, but at least the weather was nice for you guys and the general audience out there on the lawn.
Yeah, and then it became a battle of flying home to try to beat the winter storm, and thankfully I did, but that was chaotic and I don't wanna think about it.
Right, yeah. I mean, you cinched a good flight in the beginning already. Like, did you actually have to, like, change your flight plan at all, or was it, like, the original ticket?
Yes, but I don't wanna talk about
Okay,
it.
okay. But the change worked, okay.
I'm home now.
Yeah, and I'm just really excited that I also had the opportunity to go out there to network on behalf of Pro Life San Francisco during the Horror and Hope brunch. Melanie just mentioned the Horror and Hope Coalition led by Lauren and Caroline, friends of ours. And it was a fantastic opportunity to really hear the heart of people focused on other victims of violence and other causes. And I think Melanie had a really poignant statement to make during the Horror and Hope National Day of Action Vigil, that being a part of this community, this event, kind of seeing multiple communities come together, actually, it really gave her, and I would say gave me too, an opportunity to mourn for those other victims, because a lot of times it feels like all of our, like, emotional, mental, physical energy is wrapped up with one category of victims of violence here on the
Mm.
planet,
Uh,
that we don't have any bandwidth left, that we would, like, be burnt out if we were to give. And this isn't like a universal thing, like, of course, whenever we're watching the news, if we're in the mind frame to be watching the news or be reading, news outlets on social media and just scrolling through our computers, we're gonna, act like any other normal human being on the planet, and our hearts will break whenever we see people being killed. But being able to sit in a kind of organizational setting and hear from people involved in leading other organizations, we usually don't have this opportunity because we're always focused on the unborn who need allies and advocates. But we always felt there's no time to do the same thing for other victims of violence. It just felt like, I don't know, almost like it's arguably possible that PLSF could become a CLE. Like, would we ever want to be a CLE kind of organization in the
some
future?
lore on Pro-Life SF. There was a time, I think under Teresa's leadership, that there was consideration to be a rehumanized chapter.
Oh, some people might not know what CLE is.
CLE, Consistent Life Ethic.
Yeah, where you're actually able, and part of it
With
might just have to do with some people only have so much time on their plate and so much expertise to have to focus in on one topic. but depending on how many people join us, who knows where our future can be.
I mean, I'm definitely CLE. I always thought of PLSF as being CLE. Even, I mean, I feel like you can be CLE and also single issue, which I think that's PLSF.
Yeah, I guess there's kind of a spectrum.
West Coast Walk for Life, Robert. I was not there at the West Coast Walk for Life because I was in San Antonio, Texas at my friend's wedding. Shout out to Allie and David. Love
Hmm.
you. Many blessed years of your marriage. Now, what did I miss, Robert? Give me the rundown. Give me the tea. Give me
Yes.
give me the spicy tea of what went down at the West Coast Walk for Life.
The chai, as it were. So it was a really great opportunity to be able to introduce a big handful of people to the community. Thanks to Danielle and his friend, he wrangled up people from his network who were really interested in kind of hitting the ground running, getting a really good deep dive intro to the pro life community by being involved, not just being spectators, not just roaming the grounds of the San Francisco Civic Center, but actually being able to be involved. Sorry. We had a crew of 8 people who were volunteering with us for the
Nice.
walk. Morning, well, Melanie, of course, you set us up for success, organized
I really did.
all of the materials, all of the kind of strategy for the whole morning, like logistically, and making sure that we had
Ryan.
the footwork that we needed
Uh-huh.
to really pull off being able to educate a broad audience about our programs, our presence here in the city. And yeah, that just goes to speak about, my favorite part of the Walk for Life being the info fair tabling hour.
Nice. And how did that
It
go?
was chaotic. You could
Oh,
imagine
no.
with like hundreds and that, like being in a sea of thousands of people getting ready to listen to the main stage speeches from the West
Uh-huh.
Coast Walk for Life stage. There were like at least hundreds of people who came to grab stuff from our table and speak and hear and learn from us, to share who they are. It was just such an amazing opportunity, even being able to talk with some of the people at neighboring tables as well.
Did people take a lot of the Ethical Research Now flyers?
It was hard to see. So me
Oh,
and
okay.
a new volunteer named Jessica, we were the ones manning the table. And Danielle, Ryan, and let's see, don't think I had enough coffee this morning, but those are the people who I recall were slinging our signs. There is some really fantastic artwork that one of our previous executive directors, Kristen, had made that served as the basis for stickers we were giving out free with a survey submission. A lot of people just took the stickers without filling out the survey,
No.
but hopefully they did take pictures of the QR code so that they could fill out the survey
They're not
later
gonna
on.
do
But
that.
we were
It's
happy
a
to
week
provide.
late.
Let's have to look into the data and see, because we want to be able to share invitations to future gatherings and events, and
So were people just they were just like, they just took it or you let them take it, Robert?
well,
What's
I
the
was in the
truth?
middle of talking with other people while
Oh,
other people were getting the
no. That
flyers,
breaks my
the
heart.
the resource brochures that we pass out on the sidewalk. We wanted to make sure attendees of the Walk for Life had those in hand. We're familiar with the content and the website that it points to, the
Daniel told me
directory.
that y'all gave out all of the signs.
Yes, that was the amazing thing. And off the top of my
That's
head, I don't
crazy.
remember if we had 100 or
It
200
was
or
350 signs.
total. 350 divided by 4 versions.
I'm
Okay.
pretty sure when I looked at the receipt.
Okay.
And that's
Wow.
so crazy y'all gave them all out because I was highly expecting we would have leftovers to bring to Sacramento.
Yeah, March 16th.
Monday, March 16th, Sacramento. Be there at the state capitol. 12 p.m. is the rally. 1 p.m. starts the march. Be there or be square.
It was, yep. Speaking of, we probably had to order more signs. This is a good problem to have,
Yes.
more signs. Maybe it gives me an opportunity to think of some hand created, handcrafted signs that we could make, because we want to make sure that those legislators hear specific calls to action that we would have them do in order to divest from abortion. Because really, California lawmakers are some of the most, um, the most at fault for the expansion of abortion in the U.S. And did you see that news recently about a California doctor who was I forget what the right technical term is, but indicted in Louisiana for sending in the
That
abortion pill.
sounds familiar. Yeah.
Yeah, or at least charged. I think the word indicted has. I'm always a very, I'm
Very
overthink things.
particular about his choice of
Yeah,
words,
I
about
think
his
indicted
language.
has to do with grand juries. I don't know if it had anything to do with the grand jury, but at least, there was a charge put out and an extradition request for this doctor who was distributing a human pesticide, which is the abortion pill, into Louisiana, a pro life state. And then, of course, Evan Newsom, our lovely governor, was like, not on our watch. We're not sending them your way. It's like not honoring extraditions, even though that's how the US operates whenever someone commits a crime across
Uh-huh.
state lines.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so just a small indication besides the several dozen pro abortion laws that have been passed in the last 4 or so years. Yeah, California is a place that really needs to hear a message. We're
Totally.
glad that the Walk for Life and all that, action there, besides being able to talk with several hundreds of people who did not know about our programs before, our
Mhm.
educational initiatives, the service work for families, and countering politically the message of the abortion movement, California lawmakers. It was also an opportunity to share our new letter writing campaign to leaders of the University of California, San Francisco. And most of you watching, listening might have already logged over to this, check this website out, ethicalresearchnow.org. And we were really happy to be able to kind of enlighten people for their first time being aware of this abortion more generally, to know about specific, I guess, moral infractions, to use a term, of this medical atrocity of aborted organ harvesting.
So I'm so happy y'all gave out all the signs. I'm so happy people liked the stickers. But Robert, I have a bone to pick with you.
What's that?
Why in all of the pictures and videos I saw, there was no bullhorn and you were not at the front of the Walk for Life West Coast? Explain that to me. I'm frazzled. I'm
Yes.
not feeling dazzled.
The would you be surprised to hear that the bullhorn ran out of battery?
But weren't the batteries brand spanking new?
Yeah,
Y'all were just using them that much? Like,
I
how did
guess maybe we like blew it out in the
maybe
first
it's a
like
problem with
10
the
minutes.
bullhorn. In the first 10 minutes, it stopped
Yeah,
working.
I don't, we should have had like a backpack full of batteries to
How
guard against
no,
that
there's no way
issue.
you could have planned for that. Oh my gosh, in
Yeah,
the first 10 minutes.
right.
What the heck? Okay, now why weren't you at the front of the walk? I was really sad and disappointed when I saw you were not at the front.
Well, even one of the previous years when I was at the front, there was like rotation of people at the banners so that, the same set of people wasn't always there. So they wouldn't have been in every one of the photographs. But
Okay,
yeah, this year
and
I felt to kind of um, attached to my role as banner captain for Pro Life San Francisco. I felt I couldn't pull away from, because I was taking some photos and videos of our presence out there, interviewing our people, and kind of overall helping to keep the kind of
you
cheerlead.
mean there's more video footage we have yet to see?
Well, you may have seen some in our story, and yeah, there's more that could be shared.
Okay, but you said you were interviewing people.
Yeah, I mostly Danielle.
Okay.
Some people like were taking a minute to think of what to say. It always allow them
Okay.
time.
Well, I just want to give a public shout out to Robert for manning the fort, keeping things in check while I was gone. And also shout out to our good friend Daniel for all his help with coordinating volunteers.
Yeah, it was just a great fresh group of people to be with. I just did not want to like tear myself away from them and in a sense
I get
ignore them,
that.
if you understand. Like it felt like
Maybe you were just caught up in the
I felt
moment.
like
You were
I
like, I'm with my people. I have FOMO if I'm gone,
yeah,
walking at
there's
the front of the Walk for Life West
FOMO, and
Coast.
it felt like I was abandoning them if I was
Uh,
even taking videos and photos from far away to document, us getting our message out about what we're up to in the city just through our big vinyl banner. That's like a symbol of all the activity and campaigns that we aim to continue. Like I felt like, okay, am I abandoning them even in this moment? And I'm like 30 feet away getting video footage. Just like, nah, I got to stay with them. I can't be
Okay.
separate. So that
Okay.
was the main thing.
I respect your decision. Okay, so HHS, what is the news, Robert? Tell us.
So
What do we need to know?
the US Department of Health recently came out with some amazing good news. I don't know if y'all seen it on our Instagram. That's not really visible. But yeah, here's the headline from the press office. NIH announces major policy shift to end use of human fetal tissue in NIH supported research. This news came out the night before the March for Life in DC. It was really crazy. It
Wow.
first came across my radar from a Twitter post by Kristen Hawkins, president of
Uh,
Students for Life,
uh,
and it was like, wait a second, what is this real? That the federal government's going to stop funding all these university research labs that target pregnant moms for
mhm.
baby part specimens? And I clicked through and found yes, is absolutely true. So I clicked through and found out it's absolutely true. It's such a mind-blowing thing to check out because when I read through the whole press release right here, it said that so this is basically taking it a step further than just, banning government laboratories from targeting pregnant moms. This is affecting all outside or extramural projects, meaning laboratories that aren't government laboratories but receive federal money to conduct these
Mm.
experiments,
Such as UCSF.
such as UCSF. I remember just a couple months ago when we interviewed one of the vice presidents of the White Coat Waste Project, he was talking about their success in getting it was just about a short list of a dozen or so projects defunded in terms of whenever they come to the conclusion of their current funding cycle, they're not going to be renewed if they want to use aborted babies' remains. And it was kind of delayed good news because we wouldn't see the effect of it
Is
immediately.
this the effects of that, you think?
Well, this is basically that on steroids because it's going to be more than just affecting those dozen or so projects, but sweeping across
Oh.
all. And there seemed to be a clause in this that seemed to be saying that even the currently active projects are going to be basically either required or strongly suggested to stop using aborted babies immediately, like to not even have to wait for the next funding cycle. Yeah,
Mm.
and
My gosh, that's big.
let me see if I could. Let's see.
Okay, I have a huge question. I want to know, what do you think that means practically for UCSF? Like, what does that mean practically for the research that's happening in our backyard? Does that mean some of the research stops, but some of the research continues through their own in-house funding? Or what does that like? Put it to me in simple terms of what does this mean for the fetal tissue research that's happening in our backyard at UCSF?
Well, one thing I could say here, there was a recent article in nature.com, it's a science journal, and where, of course, some scientists, as it says in the headline, some scientists, they're dismayed by this good news. It's just such an upside down world over there where they think, oh, we can no longer rely on tortured babies for a specimen. This is bad. It's like, check yourselves. Like, just understand what ethics is. It says here, one doctor at UCSF, what does it says here? Dr. Stephen Finkbeiner. My dad likes German, so I kind of, wait, let me just say that differently.
Say it with the German accent and then say it with the American accent.
Yeah, my mind just flipped into my German language lessons from back home. But yeah. So let's see, Dr. Stephen Finkbeiner,
Wait,
neurologist.
say it with the German accent and then say it with the English accent.
Stephen Finkbeiner. There we go. A neurologist at the University of California, San Francisco, who received a grant in the 2024 fiscal year for a proposal that included fetal tissue research. Said that his team uses stem cells, presumably from aborted babies, to study Alzheimer's disease. Well, he uses stem cells to study Alzheimer's disease, but, quote, the human fetal tissue work is also critical because it remains the gold standard.
Oh, brother.
So it's ridiculous. Like other options right there, like they talk about stem cells. Now, I'm not sure if these themselves would be ethical or unethical, unethically sourced stem cells, but whenever you see the phrase human fetal tissue, that's talking about a baby's body freshly aborted and targeted while they were still alive in utero. Like, how can you just seriously say this is the gold standard and raise that as, something you do not want to stop? You want that machine to just keep churning out more bodies for you, while those moms could otherwise be encouraged to change their mind to choose abortion rather than double down and be sold pregnancy tissue donation as the silver lining to their complicated situation they found themselves in.
So what does this mean
For the funding, yes.
practically?
So
Like, obviously, it sounds like Dr. Tebinda is
What is
not having
this?
a good day. He's mad about this. Or she. I'm just assuming this is a man. I don't actually know. All I know is the last name.
Well,
But
I gave you the first name, Stephen, but
oh,
still,
okay, okay.
still,
I was right. I was right. Dr. Steve, that he's mad about this. But okay, so people are mad and upset that they'll be losing lessening their gold standard of research quotations. But okay, so what does that mean? Like, the research at UCSF continues but is limited because they've lost
some of the
federal
fun.
funding, but they have state funding. Like,
Yeah.
what does this mean practically,
Let's
if you
see.
know?
This is something that any one of us, anyone out there as well, could kind of learn from reading any medical journal article where you see all the funding sources. So I pulled up one random article here. And in terms of acknowledgments, they talk about, this work was supported by grant FIRB, and it gives a long list of like letters and numbers, and a grant from different foundations. So
Okay, so the research, the organ harvesting will continue, but they're losing funding. So maybe it won't be as many babies being harvested.
it's a matter of, if something has already received federal money, they'll absolutely be limited for that specific project unless they decide to, like, midstream. Like, this is talking about like the currently active projects. If they midstream decide to somehow send back the federal funds and just replace it with the other money they have, kind of ask other outside foundations or even the state government for other grants, additional money, or just rely on the remaining money they already have so that they can continue the projects without any changes to their protocol, without any logistical changes. But our hope is that institutionally they would put rules in place that, circumvent any kind of headaches by saying, look, from the outset, we're not going to allow any, pregnant moms to be pressured to sign over their babies' bodies. Rather, we will not be part of people's thinking over whether to follow through with their abortion plans. We will not use freshly aborted babies for our research projects. And that's the hope, that being denied this federal funding for unethical protocols would actually help move them to a more ethical standard of research. But I would think that in the short term, the immediate reaction is going to be, okay, how can we keep our projects going the way they are, sticking to the status quo without using that money, using the remaining money we still have? It might require them to seek out additional grants and put things on pause, put their projects on ice for some time. But
Just like how they put the baby body parts on
eesh,
ice.
right, right.
But
To
dark
try,
humor.
yeah, yeah. That's always something that pops up in the pro life circle, dark humor. I want to try to find a specific phrase here.
So you're saying it's possible, it's more likely than not people are going to try to adjust and figure out how can we keep doing what we've been doing just without the funding that we were getting.
That's
I
what I would do if I were a baby harvester.
Makes sense. My hope, I'm sure all of our hope, is that knocking down this, leg of the funding will equal eventually of like, oh man, we just can't keep going no more, and then equaling, less babies being harvested for their body
Yeah.
parts, and hopefully less babies being killed in general.
There was a situation back during the first Trump administration when the rule was laid down that for the upcoming funding cycle, no money will be given to proposals that include, harvesting aborted babies for the research specimens. And so none of this was about like the currently active projects. It was all about in, several months from now, your projects will not be picked up if it includes aborted fetal tissue research. And already then, there was talk within the UCSF community. There was, for example, I think it was like the University of California Academic Senate or some body similar to that was doing a live meeting over a video chat. They published it on YouTube for the public to see, and it was kind of covering several different topics. But when that was brought up, then they were saying, okay, and now our plans to go to Capitol Hill to lobby for increased funding for aborted fetal tissue research. So their first moves are going to be to, talk to the people in power to see what they can do to reverse the few good decisions, I would say, that are coming out of the Trump administration, both prior and current. So yeah, it's just disheartening to see that it's going to take more than just, a slap on the hand and denial of money for a short period of time. It's
But
going to
this
take
is
more
a
than that to affect them, to get them to just switch up their view of the ethics of this thing.
This is a great start, though. I think this is at least a victory in the right direction, and hopefully the NIH removing their funding will be a tutor for other sources of money to also remove their funding. I think this is at least a good victory in terms of fighting for the end of fetal tissue research and fighting for ethical research now. You can go to ethicalresearchnow.org action, contact all the people within power of the UC system, let them know that you demand for ethical research now. So,
If I could
okay.
I read this press release from top to bottom? Because I just think it's really well written. Maybe we can just clip the best sentences. I'll summarize a bit. The NIH just announced a new policy ending the use of human fetal tissue in NIH supported research, making a significant milestone in the Trump administration's efforts to modernize biomedical science and accelerate innovation. Effective immediately, NIH funds will no longer be used. Okay. Effective immediately, funds will no longer be used to support research involving human fetal tissue from elective abortions. The policy applies across the NIH intramural research program and all NIH supported extramural research, including grants, cooperative agreements, other transaction awards, and research and development contracts. Let's see. NIH is pushing American biomedical science into the 21st century, said NIH Director Jay Bhattacharya. This decision is about advancing science by investing in breakthrough technologies more capable of modeling human health and disease. Under President Trump's leadership, taxpayer-funded research must reflect the best science of today and the values of the American people. NIH-supported research using human fetal tissue has declined steadily since 2019, only 77 projects funded in fiscal year 2024. At the same time, advances in organoids, tissue chips, computational biology, and other cutting-edge platforms have created robust alternatives that can drive discovery while reducing ethical concerns. The updated policy ensures that limited public resources are directed toward research approaches that offer the greatest potential to improve health outcomes for all Americans.
So, Anastasia Rogers, our friend, our colleague, was arrested on the sidewalk of Planned Parenthood, Northern California's flagship headquarters, 1522 Bush Street, San Francisco, California. Anna is facing a potential restraining order by Planned Parenthood, and this is due to the California FACE Act taking a funny, trendy video that Anna made on the sidewalk, totally out of context, and really just trying to keep her from doing peaceful, law abiding sidewalk outreach.
Yeah, like if you would, it's just such a ridiculous situation because the text that they're taking issue with, that they're interpreting, that somebody is interpreting as a threat, it was literally the phrase saying that the modus operandi of pro-lifers is to love people, to kill with kindness, to unalive with kindness. and that the MO of the other side of the people who work for the abortion businesses, those brick and mortar buildings, is just to unalive them, meaning the babies. But there's taking that phrase, basically slicing it up instead of like basically interpreting it to be like Planned Parenthood's MO is to unalive them. It's saying unalive them. And it's saying to unalive Planned Parenthood people. It's like, no, it's like you're reading it wrong. And even if one person made that mistake within the building, everyone else around them should have been able to say, no, you're reading it wrong. Here's what it's actually communicating. And then these charges never would have been filed. She wouldn't never have been arrested and dragged off the street in
I
front of me.
honestly think it's so funny. I feel like it's so far reaching. I feel like it's like somebody was like, let's zoom in 10 times to the background of this video. And if you zoom in and you flip the screen, then you will see and blah, and if you play the audio backwards, you will hear distinctly like it's like, bro, what you're looking for is not there. Like you are totally taking this funny little silly TikTok video out of its original context. Like, y'all need to calm down. But we have been to the San Francisco Hall of Justice doing court support in favor of our friend Anna. We've gone twice now, and we're going to keep going in support of our friend Anna because we are in support of sidewalk outreach and we want to keep spreading the word of Bay Area ReproCare.com. And we have awesome brochures that lead people to our bilingual English and Spanish website, Bay Area ReproCare.com, that has many life affirming, nonviolent resources to help women throughout pregnancy and beyond. Please join us for court support if it works in your schedule.
That's moral support for people who need it.
Yes, and you never know how long you may be at the San Francisco Hall of Justice. It could be in and out in half an hour's time, and you could be there till the 11th hour at 4:30 p.m. So I suggest you bring snacks, bring a fully charged phone, bring a good attitude, and if you need it, there is free childcare at the San Francisco Hall of Justice that has helped me coming in clutch with taking care of my son. So please come join us Tuesday, February 24th, 9 a.m. at the San Francisco Hall of Justice in support of our friend Anna.
And also the Superior Court system, they have two different buildings in San Francisco. I recall that one person went to one location, but then realized, oh, shoot.
Oh, yes.
So there's one by City Hall, just across the street at the, by the San Francisco Civic Center. But the primary one where the hearings have been at to date so far is the Hall of Justice on Bryant Street.
Okay.
So yes, I think that's the more kind of landmarky one that most people know about.
So join us Tuesday, February 24th, 9 a.m. at the San Francisco Hall of Justice on Bryant Street.
And keep an eye on our emails in case there is a change from that.
Yeah, but all this to say, if you are considering going out to the sidewalk, please, now is not the time to be afraid. Now, if anything, is the time to show them that we are not intimidated by them. We are not intimidated by them who are trying to stop us from reaching women and families before they go in to possibly make a life-altering, life-ending decision, abortion. So please get out to the sidewalk. You have every legal right to be there. You know yourself, you know what is the public property lines. They may tell you that there's a buffer zone that is unconstitutional. You can stand wherever you want. You know that you're not harassing anyone. You know that you're not being violent. All you are doing is having conversations, passing out literature. This is what people do anywhere and everywhere on public property, right? You see people outside of your local grocery store, in corners of busy streets, preaching, or the Jehovah Witnesses, or people passing out information for their various causes. You're not doing anything out of the ordinary. You just happen to be outside of a business who really doesn't want you there because you may save a baby.
Yeah. Those Witnesses, Falun Gong, Cirque du Soleil, like whatever it is.
Exactly. Exactly. Falun Gong. That's everywhere in SF. Falun Gong, Cirque du Soleil. Yeah, I've been seeing more about that. But anyway, so let's wrap up, Robert. We touched on everything, right? The National March for Life, Walk for Life West Coast, the HHS losing or defunding the
Extramural
yes
research.
for fetal tissue research losing funding from HHS, NIH. What's the difference?
It's all umbrellas, several umbrellas, umbrellas.
And we touched on our pro life colleague, Anna, from the group Survivors San Francisco, her recent arrest and upcoming court dates. So we hope to see you at upcoming events, SF Hall of Justice. And if you haven't already, ethicalresearchnow.org to demand for an end to fetal organ harvesting at the University California, San Francisco. Anything else, Robert?
I'd encourage people, if you want to know about other opportunities to share your voice, to have your voice amplified, just to be in pro-life community as well, sign up for our emails right on our homepage, prolifesf.org. Scroll to the middle of the page, add in your contact info, and that way you can stay in the loop, be the first to know about events, gatherings, just social
Yep.
interaction opportunities, and the ability to really take action on
Yeah.
a larger scale.
Yeah. Our emails are the best way, I think, to stay in the know of what we're doing. And yeah, join us. All righty. So, Harvesting Justice podcast over and out.
So, yeah.
Bye.